my loves, today we are going with some natural light because the glare off of the ring light bugs me too. But I have enough natural light back here that I feel like you guys can see me well. My dog wants in. My room is messy. You can come lay in it if you want to, but it's messy. Okay, you found a clean spot. All right, so this week, I have decided that I am going to do Spookopoly. I have done my role. I will let that play up here as I am talking. But I wanted to participate. It's one of my favorite readathons. I just started my Bless Your Heart TBR though, so I didn't want to sub something else in instead of the game I created. So I'm just doing it for a week. However, I am also reading through Teventer Nights, as you guys know. I am on the third story in this callback. I read the second story. Oh my gosh, we are getting some of the Eldritch horror that the series became known for, and I'm so excited. There will be probably some Dragon Age stuff in this video because, again, I'm obsessed and Veilguard's coming. So, the role, as you have seen, I don't remember the prompt it landed on. I think it was future and a book that I've been putting off for a rainy day or specific mood. It's a book that has been on many, many TBRs of mine. I am reading Godblind by Anna Stevens. I can't tell you how far I am in this though because I'm listening to the audiobook. I did find it on Everand. And guys, I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed. So I've talked to a few people who were like, oh yeah, this is grimdark at its finest. This is so great. You're gonna love it. Am I? So let's just talk about this for a second. The font is huge. The book is short. I do like fast-paced novels. However, I feel like this is lacking something. It's lacking the eloquent writing I've been looking for. The relationships in here seem very juvenile. The horrors that we are facing are horrific, but they're glossed over. And I don't know. When I read a grimdark novel, I expect some blood and gore and probably some people behaving badly. And, you know, sexual assault happens in grimdark books. It just does. And he just does this have that? It does, but I don't like the way it's presented. I don't know. I did talk to Nico recently and watched his review of Godblind. I'll link it down below. We kind of have the same thoughts, which is weird because me and Nico don't typically agree, but I don't know. There's just something that is not working for me in this, and I'm about halfway through. So I don't know if I should DNF it. I'm trying not to because this is like a readathon thing that, you know, finish the book. But I don't like it. I don't like it. If I were to finish it, this is kind of where my thoughts on DNFing come from. This would probably be a 3-star. I mean, higher than what Nico gave it, but so let's just talk about something for a second. And if you don't want spoilers, I will put spoiler up on the screen, and when the spoiler thing goes away, then you're good. There's a relationship in here. There's a girl who was a slave, and then the person who's trying to tell her she's part of this prophecy. And he is the one who knows about this prophecy, can see the future, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, so they're talking and he forms a relationship with her. And when I say relationship, I mean romantic relationship. And while I'm not against, you know, consenting adults doing their own thing, she was a slave. She was a slave and she was a sexual slave. And, you know, I don't like the way their relationship is presented because he like kisses her. And I get, you know, being a female, when my husband does that, I'm like, oh, hello. And I know that like whenever you're dating someone and they do that, it's like, hi, you know, like push me up against that wall. But, you know, like this slave girl who's only known assault gets assaulted and it's just her mouth. But, you know, like I don't know. It didn't sit well with me. And now she's all giggly about their relationship. And I get why she's like that, because in her mind, he's treating her well. He's not this aggressive, abusive asshole. But is he? Is he? I don't know. There are things about this that I just am not liking. And I'm like looking at this stack of books over here. I just hauled a crap ton of books and I'm like, or, you know, should I just read A Tide of Black Steel? Like, should I just continue with that and read that? I don't know. What I do know is that tonight is Friday night and I am going to be playing some Dragon Age. That's what I know. But I will let you guys know when I get further into that. If I DNF it, I DNF it. Man, I don't like doing that. But then if I DNF it, I have to pick another book that I was saving for a rainy day. And I'm like, okay, looking at what I have for my TBR, for my Bless Your Heart TBR, it might be A Tide of Black Steel. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I could read All the Hidden Paths. That's one I have kind of saved because I love A Strange and Severed Endurance so much that I don't want All the Hidden Paths to run it. I've not heard that. I've not heard that from anybody. That's just my brain going, what if it's not as good? And I do need to read Daughter of No Worlds for my Patreon. But I guess I could say I've saved that for a rainy day because I picked it because nobody else in the Discord had picked it. And so I've been excited to read it. But anyway, yeah, that's where we stand. I am trying to read like a story a day or a couple stories a day of Tevinter Nights. And I don't have long. I don't have long to get there. Just knowing that it's a couple weeks away. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll probably read more of this. Probably read maybe more of this. But then I'm going to play some Dragon Age. I am working on Dragon Age 2 because I'm also working on finishing up my story of Hawk and Anders. And so I'm going to talk about Dragon Age for a second. If you guys want to skip through this part, I will put like a DA stamp or something. I love the idea of a warrior hawk with Anders, and the reason being is he's baffled that you're siding with the mages. But what he doesn't realize or doesn't think about is your sister in the game is a mage and your father was a mage, and your father taught you these things about mages and magic, and they stick in your head. Well, and even in the game, Bethany tells Anders, you remind me of my father. Like, so I love the idea of a warrior hawk with Anders. Now, my story is fanfic, and it's kind of not necessarily wish fulfillment, but there's something that Anders says in the game that stuck with me. And I ended up writing this stupid little story about what happened when Hawk went in there one day without Anders. And so I'm not going to elaborate on that because if you know, you know. If you don't, fine. But it turned into more than just that little silly story. And so I'm trying to finish it for one of my friends. So I might write, I might play, but otherwise, like, just know Dragon Age is happening tonight. Okay, listen guys, we need to talk. We need to talk. This was supposed to be a Spookopoly vlog, and there's a reason I didn't want to do Spookopoly. Last year it kicked my butt. This year, it's not Spookopoly that's kicking my butt. It is the Bless Your Heart TBR game. I have started Guns of the Dawn. I think I am NFing this one. I don't think I'm going to DNF here. I think I am, it's like a not for now. It's not the book I want to be reading. However, I've heard from quite a few people that I'm not going to like it anyway. And so I'm like, well, it's so strange because so many people told me I was going to like it. No one stepped in to say I wouldn't like it. And, yeah, not enjoying it. And I have DNF'd the Kaiju Preservation Society because the humor wasn't hitting right for me. I was not interested. There was a cool concept there, but it wasn't anything that was keeping my attention. I didn't feel the need to pick it up once I set it down, and it was not clicking for me. So our first roll gave us Godblind. I was so excited. This book is supposed to be right up my alley, dark fantasy, you know, all that stuff. I'm having issues, guys. I'm having issues. This book is brutal, it's bloody, it's crass, but it's also written like a YA. I talked to my friend Nico about this, and I think I mentioned before that I would link his video down below, my thoughts on this. If not, if this is not new information, or if it is new information, I apologize. I forgot what I've said already. But I'm more than halfway through this book, and every time the humorous aspect comes up in this story, it jars me. Every time this sweet little thread of a romance comes through, it jars me. Every time we have banter that would probably be more suitable to teenagers, it throws me. And I don't think I like it. So, like, the most I'm going to give this book is 3 stars. And I feel like that's going to be generous. So, I'm DNFing Godblind, guys. I hate this. I don't want to do this. So the prompt that I got for this one is a book that I've been saving for a rainy day. And while this isn't necessarily a book that I'm saving for a rainy day, it was one that I kept trying to get onto my Patreon buddy read. And it finally come up that this month we're going to be reading Daughter of No Worlds. So I just started this, and I was starting to think that I wasn't just, there's nothing I was going to like. I don't know, like maybe I was too distracted. Maybe there was too much Dragon Age going on. Maybe I was just stressed out. Maybe my PCOS was having a bigger impact than what I thought. Guys, I stayed up till 4 a.m. reading this. I got to, let's see, chapter 42. So 305 pages into this book. I couldn't put it down. It was so good. It is so good. I'm almost finished with it. And guys, this is touted as romantasy. I think this is fantasy with romance in it. Like, straight up, there is a romantic plotline, but it's not heavy, and it's more like a flirtation than anything else. Until, 305 pages, like, there's not been heavy romance just yet. It's very slow burn. The story itself is a little slow burn. The politics are slow burn. But we have a girl who has escaped slavery. She was supposed to be buying her slavery, and her owner decides the day that she comes up with the money that he's going to beat her instead of releasing her. And she kills him, not a spoiler, it's very early on in the book, and escapes. And when she does, she goes seeking the mages of this world. They're called the Orders, and she wants to join them. She wants to learn more about the power she wields and use it for good. She wants to rescue the slaves of her nation, or the nation that bought her. She wants to be able to free all of these slaves, and she thinks joining the Orders will give her the power to do that, give her the influence to do that. And how the romance comes about is when she finally makes it to the Orders, she is given a mentor, a very reluctant mentor, and that mentor happens to be a war hero who is just done with war, doesn't want to have anything to do with it anymore. Something horrific happens. We read about that in the prologue of this book, and he doesn't want anything to do with any of it, none of it. And when they ask him to train someone, he's reluctant, but she kind of worms her way in and gets his help and goes to train with him pretty much. So it's not like a training school either. He's the one teaching her. And it's been so good. It has been so good. And I'm really excited that I went ahead and picked this one up. It is my book of the month read for my Patreon, but very, very much looking forward to finishing this, seeing where this story goes, and to be picking up the consecutive books in this in the next few months. Let me just say, I absolutely loved this. This was fantastic. This is about a girl who is a slave. She goes to buy her freedom only to realize that the person who held her captive, had her slave deal, was not being honest in her being able to buy her freedom, and something horrific happens. She ends up killing him and escaping this place and going to the city of mages, which she has magic, and she wants to join them, and she wants to join them to help free the slaves that she ended up being captured alongside. And oh my gosh, this is so good. The romance is very much grumpy sunshine, except she is the sunshine, but she's also kind of snarky and kind of like badass. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. I loved when I found out that every single element of this cover has meaning. That made me so incredibly happy. I ended up giving this 5 stars. I have read Carissa Broadbent before and thoroughly enjoyed it, but I think I like this one more than Crowns of Nyaxia, and I'm a vampire lover, so that says quite a bit, I think. And then I rolled doubles, and I rolled 4, got the Jason prompt, which was a book that had 13 letters in the title. And then because I rolled doubles, I had to roll again, which gave me a black cover. I had to stretch this one a little bit, just a little bit. And I read Ankle Snatcher by Grady Hendrix. It is a short story. I don't know if they count, but I'm counting it. But I thought this was a really good story. I thought it was creepy. I think the creature feature that it's part of, I think it fit that prompt really well. And I'm a fan of Grady Hendrix and his writing and his social commentary. So to read something that was just creepy to be creepy was very interesting by him. And it kind of does talk about familial trauma and stuff like that, generational trauma. And so it is something that's very him, even though it's not the full length delve into the social commentary that we're used to from him. Very, very good. And then for my next roll, I think I rolled a 9, landing me on Ghost Tour. Now, this is to pick up a book with historical elements, and so of course I picked up A Tide of Black Steel because this is Vikings in essence. And so I just went ahead and used that so that I could get this done. I'm about halfway through this, guys, halfway. And yes, there's my special edition there, and I'm holding up my arc. I'm really enjoying this. Now, this does follow some of what happened in Covenant of Steel. Like, this is a follow-up, and I like the tie-ins, but I'm kind of wishing that they weren't tied in. I think I would like this story better without the tie-ins to the old story, and I don't know why that is.
I don't know why it bothers me. I think it's because every time I've picked up an Anthony Ryan trilogy previously, it's been in a new world. And so the first book is very exciting to me. And this one, I'm kind of invested, but also kind of not. I'm not saying that this is bad by any means. I'm actually really enjoying it. It is in the vein of the character driven, though. And so I do think that this is going to land at like a 4 star for me and not a 5. And that's a little disappointing as Anthony Ryan's one of my favorite authors, is my all-time favorite author, in fact. And so the writing is good. The dark grittiness is there. All of the things that I love about Anthony Ryan's writing are here. And so I can't be mad about it. But it is more character driven than I like. And I am having issues with it tying into the previous story. But that's just me. That's just my issue. Like, I love getting a new story from him, with the exception of, he added to the Valen tale. And I can't be mad about that because Valen Alsorna is my favorite character of all time. But yeah, I am enjoying it. I do think it's good. I do love Anthony Ryan's writing. I don't think there is a better author for me than Anthony Ryan. So, yeah, that is where we are currently. Yes, I did read a book without checking in, but I've just kind of had a little bit of issues. I've talked about this already. Focusing, my PCOS is causing me a lot of pain. It's causing me a lot of brain fog. And so when I go to record, I don't feel like I'm all there. I've recorded clips, but I've deleted them because I'm like, that made no sense. It made no sense. But I'm still trying to push past this really bad episode that I've been having this month. And I still want to get my wrap up out to you guys as soon as possible. But I am struggle bussing right now, struggle bussing hard. And I'm very excited also to be reading some dark fantasy again because, man, I have been missing it. I have been missing it. And it's making me want to pick up the rest of my dark fantasy TBR ASAP, even though I'm so much in the horror mood. I am going to have a horror vlog coming up next, so we'll see how it goes. But yes, very much enjoying this. And so I would say that this vlog is going well in the fact that I'm reading books that I like, with the exception of Godblind, but I'm also wondering how well it's going to come across to you guys because, again, the struggle is real. The struggle is real. But I will check in with you guys when I get a little further along in this. Oh, also, it is fall break, so you guys might be seeing some clips from me enjoying fall break with my kiddo. Hello. I have to admit I'm having a rough go of this whole entire week. My brain fog has been kind of bad and I am having problems concentrating. My PCOS has been affecting a lot of things lately. And I know we've talked about me having PMDD, but sometimes those effects linger and cause me to go through a bit of a depression. And I think that's where I am right now. But that means none of this book is sinking in. Like, none of it. I enjoyed the first 30%. I was having a good time. Guys, I'm 60% into this book and now I have no idea what's going on. So I just, there's, Anthony Ryan is my favorite author, so I don't know what's happening. I think because it's character driven, my brain is checking out of it. And sometimes that's a problem for me in books I'm not enjoying, but I was enjoying this. So I think this is going to have to be an NFN, not for now, not a DNF. I'm going to come back to it, obviously, but I can't tell you what has happened in this book now. It has left my brain, and I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I could totally cry just because this is my most anticipated book of the year, and it's not sinking in. It's not clicking. It's not keeping my attention. And I honestly think it's brain fog. I don't think it has anything to do with the book. And so I'm setting that aside. Yes, this is affecting my Spookopoly, but I don't know what else to do because I have 2 more books for my TBR, and those 2 I should be able to get through fairly easily. And I've DNF'd a lot this month. Now, I do think my 2
actual DNFs that I have, the Kaiju Preservation Society and Godblind, they just weren't for me. Guns of the Dawn was an NFN, and I think A Tide of Black Steel is going to be an NFN. Well, I know that's going to be an NFN, but that does mean I need to pick a different book for our prompt, which is a book with historical elements. And so I have started The Rare Book of the Dead by A.G. Slaughter. Now, I picked this one. Yes, it does have historical elements to it. It feels very much like the witchy times, much like Slewfoot did. And I love this. I'm loving this so much. I picked up A.G. Slaughter, though, because favorite author, just as Anthony Ryan is. And I wanted a 5-star. I wanted something that was going to give me what I thought I was going to get from A Tide of Black Steel. And I'm having some depression. I'm having some brain fog. Obviously, you guys can probably tell right now I'm very tired. I mean, I just don't know what else to do at this point. I have a horror vlog that I'm going to start with Necroscope, and I almost just started Necroscope for this vlog since I had to NFN A Tide of Black Steel. But guys, I'm just having a rough go this week. Mental health wise, not good. And so, I don't know. It's fall break. We spent yesterday out at the mall. I got my kiddos some new clothes. I got my husband some jeans. Went and took my niece to go get a dress. She's going to a play tonight that is Michael Jackson. It's kind of a musical play. And so, yeah. Also, the patron thing that I have been talking about, where we're going to be annotating and sending books back and forth, since there's only 3 of us currently, well, active in the patron Discord. We were going to do King of Wrath, but my friend Izzy decided that was not the book that she wanted to annotate and send on and get back. So we have moved on to Twisted Love, I think is what the book is called. It's the other Anna Wong series. And so I'm looking forward to that, getting that. And then Kate is going to start Fragile Enchantment or something. I'll post the images of them because they're 2 books that I don't remember the titles off the top of my head right now. Like I said, I'm having supreme brain fog and not doing well. But I have also chosen my book, and that is going to be Spark of the Everflame. Now, I have heard that the first book isn't great. Like, most people give it a 3.5. But that the follow-up books are fantastic. So I'm very much looking forward to that and starting the series and continuing it on. But yeah, I mean, that's the updates I have for you right now. I don't know how well this next vlog is going to start, but I do think horror has more chance of keeping my attention right now, just because it's going to have shocking things in it. But I don't know. I'm not feeling reading right now. I will be getting my PS5 soon. So once I get my PS5, I'm probably going to start Baldur's Gate, and that should help with my mental state. New games have a tendency to make me very happy, especially when I can romance someone in game. I did start playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey again, just because I wanted a change of pace from Dragon Age. But you can't really romance people. Like, you can sleep with everybody, but you can't really romance people in that game. And yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. I really want to get to a lot of the books in my dark fantasy, and I might just make December dark fantasy month. I don't know. We'll see. For November, I do think I'm going to kind of mood read again as much as possible. I'm going to still play my TBR game, but we all know with the release of Dragon Age Veilguard, that's probably what I'm going to do. So yeah, I hate that this is not the greatest update, but what can you do when your mental health is currently bad?
And I will be attempting to film my September wrap up sometime today or tomorrow. So there's that. I will see you guys when I get further along in Briar Book of the Dead. But yeah, like I said, I'm really, really enjoying it. All right, guys, it's official. I have the PS5 and Baldur's Gate. We'll see if I can finish up this vlog. Alright, hello, my Spookopoly-thon vlog is finally done. I finished Briar Book of the Dead and I loved it. I really love A.G. Slatter's writing. I love the gothic feel to her stories. So good, so good. I always want more. If you guys don't know, All the Murmuring Bones was a 4.5 star. A Path of Thorns was a 5-star, and this will be a 5-star. I absolutely love Slatter's writing style. I cannot get over it. I want more of it. They're like, it's Slewfoot all over again, you know? Those are the books that I devour, like Last Tale of Flower Bride, Slewfoot, All the Murmuring Bones, like all of these things. I love them so much, and I need to find more of these books. I love gothic stories. They are always going to be my favorite. And in this one, we do have interconnected worlds in what Slatter writes. They're folklore from a world that she has made up. But All the Murmuring Bones is gothic mermaids, and that was so dang cool. Path of Thorns was like the perfect little gothic fairy tale. And then we have Briar Book of the Dead, which is the epitome of just witchy yumminess. Absolutely loved it. And I don't know what else to say other than that, and that I am so happy that this vlog is over, because I had a rough few days. I didn't read at all, and to me this vlog is going to seem so broken because 3 days ago was when I picked up Briar Book of the Dead. And then I read nothing and finished it today. So yeah, I'm having a moment with myself currently. But I've been in a state of brain fog. Like I said, my PCOS just seems to be rearing its ugly head in the worst way this month. I don't know if I'm starting to get like seasonal depression on top of all of it or what is happening, but so glad this is over. I am going to be recording a horror vlog for my next vlog. I don't know if I will start that immediately. I kind of want to slot some romantasy in between what I read for this vlog and what I'm going to be reading for the horror vlog, because I need something light that my brain will just accept before starting Necroscope by Brian Lumley, because I am reading that with Nico, Andrew, and Leslie over on Andrew's Wizardly Reads Discord and Nico's Discord. But that's going to be the next thing that I read. And I'm pretty excited about it. I've heard really good things. I've heard things that make me think I'm really going to enjoy it. And it's an older horror, so there's a good chance that I will like it because that's what I grew up reading. But yeah. Let's move on from the Spookopoly vlog of death. The Spookopoly vlog from hell. Yeah, so I will see you guys in my next video.